Holy crap, everybody! I'm going to the movies. So, if it wasn't for this channel, I probably would have paused on this, but I feel like I have to do my job on Popcorn Planet to review the movies. Even though a lot of critics out there are very upset that Disney didn't provide links or more screening opportunities for this film. There's in fact like a boycott going on of people not wanting to review the film because of that. But hey, I'm going to pay for it like everybody else would. So I'm gonna give you my honest feedback, and I'm gonna try and talk to some of the people at the theater, tell you how many people are in the theater, all that stuff, so get ready. Wow, it is dead. I love it. I've never ever seen it this dead before. Seriously, never ever seen this parking lot this empty. But here we go. Mask, check. Popcorn Planet mask, you guys can pick these up. Hand sanitizer, check. Gloves, check. Phone, check. Let's do this. Wow. Not a lot of choices. Oh, I guess we'll see that. This is a nice touch. Disinfectant wipes. Now I can wipe down the seat. I'm sure they already did it, but now I get to do it too. Woo-hoo! Look at all these shields. Man, it feels clean in here. Excited. All right. Again, pretty empty, but even the concession stands have glass. Now, I purposely came late because I know this theater shows trailers, and I did not want to sit in this theater longer than I had to. So I kept it in mind, but man, I gotta tell you, man, it feels so good. It feels good walking down these aisles. It feels good seeing the lights. I'm literally like, now I might be making a huge mistake because I'm gonna get sick, but that's what I do for you guys. Here it is. Hope this is worth it, you bastards. Now, because I showed up late, the theater was very dark, so I stood in the front of the theater for a little bit to get my eyes adjusted so I could really get a gauge of who was already in this theater. And it turned out there were only about a dozen people in it, for an auditorium which I guessed fit about 250 people. Now, one thing I noticed immediately, because this wasn't assigned seating, they blocked off certain rows, so you could not sit directly in front or behind somebody. And given how big these seats were, I did like that distance. I chose to go all the way up in the top right corner of this picture, and then just before the movie started, a crowd came in of 5 more people who of course sat directly behind me. While there was some distance between us, I chose to move over to the left corner of the theater since that's where I knew there was no one sitting. I gotta be honest, it's really nice to be back in a theater and hear all this pre-show stuff. But AMC, you gotta cut down the commercials. It's been like 30 minutes before the show started.
Please remember that masks are required at all times, unless you're enjoying food or drinks. Continue to wear your mask during and after the movie. And if you need to step out of the auditorium for any reason, make sure your mask is on. Welcome back to the movies at AMC.
Did it. Did my first movie. It happened. Did you guys like it?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it for something that's been 2 years in the making. You know, I thought it was pretty good, you know, especially with the reshoots and stuff.
Cool. Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. Did it feel safe in there and everything? You guys were happy?
Yeah, it seemed pretty good.
It was pretty not a lot of people in there.
Yeah, pretty clean, and you know, everyone's spread out. So.
Cool. Well, thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Worth it?
I think so.
It's a long wait, and it's obviously we're all have to wear masks, but overall, would you give it a positive review?
I'd say yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, man. So what'd you think?
As a person that grew up reading the comic books, pretty old, so I read them back in the day, that was everything that the comics were. It was, New Mutants was never about the action or being a team. It was about coming-to-age stories, and that was kind of a coming-to-age story if you think about it. So it was really good.
And was it worth it, you think, finally, after all this time?
Yes, I don't feel like I wasted my time waiting for it to come out. I feel like it was everything I was hoping it would be.
And as a safe experience coming back to the movies, what did you think?
Well, I came opening night in the first showing because I think that was the safest. I think they did an okay job keeping everything safe here.
Yeah, cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Well, we did it. Honestly, it felt very safe, felt clean. Definitely wiped down your own seat. I like that I didn't go to the IMAX because the IMAX was very crowded. This one wasn't as crowded. And so it was nice to come to this theater because I could go sit in the back corner and feel like it was more controlled. But I wouldn't have liked it if there were people like that Tom Cruise video, too many people around him. This was nice. I felt like I got it. And they roped off the rows, which was really nice. The rows were blocked. So I was wondering how they're going to do that when it's not assigned seating, because that wasn't assigned seating. But they block off the rows, and that way it gives you a little bit more buffer zone. So you can choose to be in front of or behind somebody. So obviously I chose to not be in front of or behind somebody. But overall, it felt pretty safe. I guess it's a big theater. We're here in Tampa. It's got a big auditorium, so I didn't feel like I was in too much of a small box. And overall, the experience of going to the movies, I'd say was pretty good. You got to be careful though. If it was too more crowded or there were annoying people sitting by me, I would have been annoyed. But thankfully, that didn't happen. As for the movie itself, which I've sort of reviewed on the last show, but I liked it. I didn't hate it. Is it worth it? No. I don't think it's worth all the hassle and everything else. But with this experience, I didn't feel like I was in jeopardy or in danger or putting anyone's life in risk. And I think you have to make up that decision or see how the theater or the audience feels or how big it is for you to make that decision in your own right. Because if it's a packed theater, then yeah, it's probably a little bit more risky. One advice, you can check out my masks. You can buy them here at the Teespring store for YouTube. But I did a trick where I connected it to my hat. So it actually freed up my ears, because when you're sitting there for the long show, those masks every mask I've ever had always bugs my ears. That's a good hack. Connect it to your hat, and that way it goes upright, keeps it on, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. But breathing with a mask for an hour and a half, 2 hours, it's not great, I gotta be honest. But kept it on, didn't touch it, wiped down my area, saw the movie. I felt like I was back at the movies, and honestly, it took me to just the memories were flooding back. I'm like, I'm here again. It's been months and I'm here again. So I'm glad to be here. I'm happy the movies are here. But be safe. Wear the mask. Don't be a jerk and sit near people coughing, eating your popcorn. No, be respectful of people's personal spaces if you're gonna do it. And if you feel like the theater's too crowded, ask your money back. I'm sure they would have done it. Side note, I'm out still. I went to see an early show. I saw the 6 o'clock show, but clearly not a lot of people came for the 7 or 8 o'clock shows because parking lot's still empty. We'll see how the money is. I got a bet with Jody that this will make $50 million. Feeling nervous, but we'll see. But don't forget, pick up your PopcornedPlanet masks. Be safe, people. Woo!